Hi, Zizaran here with another video from New Zealand. So I only skimmed through the Diablo IV patch notes, and just to get up to date, I'm gonna watch a video of Ben going through all of them and giving his take on them. Because I skimmed through them, but I didn't read the specific class ones, etc. So I think a 16-minute catch-up video is gonna be good. We'll probably do that as a separate YouTube video, but I'm gonna watch the full fireside chat as well and react to that. And I actually know nothing of the fireside chat, so no spoilers there. But yeah, let's watch it.
Like Sork got nerfed. It's like it was a joke. I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
I heard
This
they
is an
actually
uber
nerfed
unique,
Zork. That's crazy.
but like this isn't even better than just the normal aspect. Chance to freeze. Okay.
Maybe if it has
Barb is gonna be
crazy
able to apply.
stats. See, I'm guessing for all these uniques, as I did look over all of them, I'm guessing things like Oculus, while it sounds really bad, it probably has +4 all skills or something to make it really good. Which I guess I'll look at after the video because I guess we have those now. But I'm guessing the stats of all the uniques, the actual stats, are really insane to make up for it.
That sucks. Yeah, this is atrociously bad. That's bad. All right. Well, these are all. I mean, this one's not terrible. The rest
not
are
bad,
all
though.
useless. It feels like so many of these powers, they don't factor in the opportunity cost of losing an aspect.
True.
In
I think devs don't do that a
99%
lot.
of cases, these are just worse than a boring basic damage aspect. And because they're unique, they're probably going to have useless modifiers that are thematic, like this shit's going to be like increased damage to frozen enemies, increased freeze duration, instead of crit, vuln, and actual things that matter. All these uniques are bad.
+3 all skills, yeah.
Oh shit, look at this. Useful. Oh my god, useful.
Yeah, that is very nice.
Does something, has a multiplier. Wow, amazing, useful.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck does small missile mean? It's interesting, might be useful. So far, it's like,
It means every bow attack
I
and
don't know enough
stuff.
to say if this is good or bad. This and this, I can actually see having use. The rest of all of this is really.
The thing about the Sork one, I feel like it would make sense if every firewall from then on destroyed the projectiles and that it was just a free one every now and again. I swear that is only the special one that destroys the projectiles.
User experience. I don't know about you guys, but my experience when my mount stubs its toe on a pebble and comes to a halt and then has to ramp up back to full speed, which is still slower than non-mounted player, it's a pretty bad experience. Why? Why?
Yeah, that is weird.
But I feel like this is the.
Oh, they probably added resetting dungeons back in, right? Huge. That's good. Now people can stop whining about exploits.
There has to be a dev note for changes like this, right?
Surely.
Why not 20? Why not 30 seconds? This leave dungeon should be long enough for the player to stand up out of their chair and walk around and get a drink to promote real life health. Let's go with a minute and a half. This is fucking massive. This shit, assuming they actually fixed it, dude, when 4 different ranged monsters
Yeah, that was
spread
annoying.
out in a fucking delta pattern and start doing fighter jet maneuvers on you when you're trying to walk up and punch
I
them, that
don't
shit was
get paid
annoying.
enough to animate
That was
this.
bad. Hopefully
The
this
editor's
means
pretty
they won't do that.
funny.
Just ideally stand still and shoot me. Or walk into range of me
Yeah, he's a operator.
so I can kill you. But anything else other than those two is not good. Creating smart AI in a fucking ARPG is dog shit. Leave that to Dark Souls. Okay, now I'm confused. Because this is
You're doing a
all
great job.
basically, the TLDR of all this is fuck you, stop doing easy content, do Helltide Nightmares.
I think that's a good
all
thing.
of this is saying. This
I
is
think
saying
that's great.
to stop doing that content and
That's
do
good.
Nightmares. And then this is saying stop doing Nightmares and Helltides and do easy content.
What? Huh? Reward experience for completing Whispers in World Tier 3 and 4 has been significantly increased. Nah, no. I mean, surely Nightmare Dungeons are going to be the end-all be-all of XP now still, even with that, even with Whispers. And I think it's okay that the Whispers have increased XP. Because the Whispers are more get gear to get started on sigils.
Oh, they killed boosting. They killed boosting in a way that doesn't remove split group XP farming. There's no fucking way. They definitely removed that further below. There's no way they did that in this way. they 100% remove group XP boosting. Because the only downside of
Isn't that
removing
good?
infinite experience range was that it would have killed boosting. But if they already are killing boosting intentionally, then they definitely killed global experience. Why is group play just 4 solo players spreading out? That makes no sense. Balance updates. Here we go. This is where the bug fixes.
Wait,
to
wait,
all
wait, wait,
those
wait, wait. Did they not remove global Airbnb? Sorry, I read from chat there. Did they not remove global XP? Wow. Wait, that's terrible. I thought that was what they removed to remove boosting. Wait, that's so dumb. I thought that's how they removed boosting, that you had to follow people. So they just nerfed the XP by difference. Wow, that's weird. That's so weird. Honestly, do you guys remember the fact that I said like D4 has an identity crisis? I feel like that's like even stronger now. Because it's like they do so, like they've said so many times on their fireside chat that it's a game made predominantly for casuals. But they do a lot of anti-casual stuff that just makes no sense to me. Like there's a lot of things that makes more sense for people like me. And I'm like, what? But you said it was for casuals. What do you mean? And there are so many things still that are like very like, it really is a big identity crisis. It really feels like different parts of the team are like, oh, the team is like, oh, well, we're going to make this for casuals. And then different parts of the team is like, well, this is going to be really hardcore. Like, for example, the hardcore PvP, I love it. And I really want to try it. Honestly, I feel like a bit of a bitch that I didn't try it because I burned out after trying Druid. So that's a little embarrassing for me, really. But like, I usually love stuff like that in games. But in my opinion, what they should have done that would be even better, and this makes everybody happy, is that you have 2 PvP zones. You make one of them hardcore PvP on hardcore, and you make the other softcore PvP on softcore. You have 2 PvP zones. Why not? You literally cater to everybody then in a better way. And you can just have the actual hardcore PvP zone be slightly more rewarding.
Making every class in the game do way more damage. This is where they are.
True. And yeah, I mean, I saw somebody say, and I really hope they get their shit together. And I haven't watched the fireside chat yet. I know a lot of people were really happy by that, and apparently they own up to a lot of their mistakes and stuff, which is awesome. But I did remember reading a comment on Twitter that's saying the best thing that happened in Path of Exile was Diablo 3. The second best thing that happened in Path of Exile was Diablo 4. The third best thing was Diablo Immortal. So it's like, they're really like teeing up for Path of Exile, in a way, because I think if they're going to keep doing more things like this, then a lot of the Diablo player base are going to be unhappy and at least check out Path of Exile. So I will watch the fireside chat after this.
I'm confused. This is the kind of thing that normally happens in like alpha, when the monkey brain of whatever dev types in numbers is like 5 and 10 is better than things that aren't 5 and 10, right? Like whenever balance changes happen in the game like League, for example, you don't look at the actual numbers and figure out what something should be. It's like, if the fucking smart computer is like, yeah, a balanced number for Ezreal Q is 97.3 damage, you don't do that. You make it 95 or 100, because our brains are, not very intelligent, and we're basically like, not even sentient. Like, so like this is the kind of thing that would incentivize this change. This is not a tuning change. Bleed is dog shit. What the fuck? Oh, what are those numbers? 28? But then what about this? It could just say 15 to 30. Oh my god. I'm having an aneurysm.
Different developers.
Oh, Grizzly Rage no longer permanent unstoppable.
Oh.
Everyone knows the most fun thing is being crowd controlled.
True.
And fuck you for trying to prevent that.
Yeah, it really is like one of the pet peeves I have with D4 is how often you get
the fact that
CC'd.
Bone Prison is for some reason proccing Lucky Hit at like a guaranteed 100% chance. Was that bug fix up above? I didn't see it. No? Oh, I guess it's not a bar bug, so it makes sense. They really don't want you doing non-Nightmare Dungeon, non-Helltide content. That's crazy.
Right.
No fucking shot they did this.
Oh, that's
Dude,
nice.
I would have ranted about this if I knew about this. Are you fucking kidding me?
I like that.
It's only 100% now? It used to be less than 100%? Why? In what world does adding a player not justify at least 100% damage? Or HP? Like, not only do you just get an extra player, but you also get all of their extra utility.
and you get their enchants and stuff. If you have Sorks in your group, even if you have multiple Sorks and they all have the Fireball enchant, you get all of those Fireball enchants. So it's like insane. That's why we like they really loved group play. Like they really love group play. Did you see the reason why we can't have more stashes? So the game loads other players' stashes and inventory, so adding more will crush the servers. That can't be true. No shot. I don't believe that. I actually don't believe that. When we say they're expensive, what we mean is they create a lot of memory overhead. When you see another player in the game, you load them and their entire stash filled with all their items. This is what teams are working diligently to improve so that we can have more ASAP. Fucking what? What the fuck? How is that? How? How do you design that? I only studied computer science for 5 years, but that is insane to me. I understand loading their gear that they are wearing for an inspect feature, but I don't understand how they're loading their entire stash. What do you mean? No wonder we can only have 16 people. Dude, imagine if that was PoE. Can you imagine if I went to town and loaded my stash? I could log in my standard character or my hardcore character, my perma-league one, and crush the entire realm. Like, hello?
Experience does not need to be granted more than 3 screens away. I don't get it.
Yeah, that is insane
Party
to
play
me.
should be based on being in a party and playing with your friends.
Yeah, literally. Literally. And I get why they want party play so much. Because they very clearly want party play to be a thing where like you're playing with your friends, incentivized couch co-op, and that is really fun. And a lot of people, probably a lot of people in chat, want that too. It's not really being in a party when you're fucking 300 kilometers away from your friends and getting their abilities.
Item affixes. Many affixes are too efficient and are outshining alternatives. Looking to refine the outliers, improve the number of meaningful choices. Guys, this sentence was copy-pasted from Chris Wilson in 2016, and I don't want to let you know what he did, but oh, fuck me. This is off to a terrible start. It's now harder to roll the mods you want on pants. But we're going to phrase it as a buff. Okay. Oh, what? Another dead mod on every single item? Ugh, why? Okay, so it's harder to roll things now. It's harder to get the mods you want. Which adds time required to gearing. Probably, I bet at least one person in chat likes this. Hello, Alkaiser. It now takes...
You know, I think I still saw someone say this in chat too, but they really, it feels like they're trying to compensate for the fact that they don't have a lot to do in the game by making everything artificially take longer. But when you do a change like that this early, like these changes are never well received. Like I actually do think nerf patches are very necessary, right? They always feel really bad. They always do. But I think most of us will probably agree that a nerf patch now and again, like maybe every, I don't know what the number is, but between every 5 to 8, it's pretty healthy for a long term of a game to have a nerf patch, right? Fun patches every like 5 to 8, and then one nerf patch. That, in my opinion, is pretty healthy. Season 1 is fucking insanity. How can they start off the bat with Season 1 just being like, yeah, you guys remember that you were, well, how you were feeling last league? Yeah, that's all gone. That's crazy to me. That is running it down mid hard. Like the number one thing, when you're developing a game, whenever you're doing anything, the number one thing you want to remember is how does the player feel? How are people going to feel about this, right? And there's fun and bad ways to make your player feel like shit. Like, there's fun ways to die. Like, you always, like, if you're going to punish a player, you always want to feel like the player gets punished because of lack of knowledge or lack of, like, reactivity or something, right? Whenever you're making the player feel punished just outright, that's not good.
Players were having too much fun by pressing their abilities too frequently. We've made it so your downtime is longer so that you spend more time in the builder-spender cycle that we have envisioned for you. Okay.
That's also, in my
Okay,
opinion,
so-
one of the least fun parts of any ARPG is mana. Any ARPG is mana. That is one of the worst things. Even in PoE. Like, there's only been like 2 or 3 patches in Path of Exile where I thought like, oh, mana's in a really good place. Like, mana's really fun. I always feel like I have to find some fucking cheesy, non-fun way to solve mana in almost every ARPG. Like, Last Epoch, Path of Exile, D4, mana and stuff. Like, there must be better ways. Like, there must be a more fun way to do things.
Longer cooldowns now. So all
Yay!
builds that were cooldown reliant are going to feel worse, except Rogue gets preemptive buffs to make sure that Rogue's cooldowns are not affected by this change.
That's good. I like that.
Interesting.
I was gonna play
But
Rogue
everyone else,
anyway.
like, fuck
Thank you,
off.
Seth.
I mean, the reality is that even if they nerfed it by 50%, cooldown would still feel mandatory.
Yeah,
And you know why?
it's always gonna feel
Leap Slam
mandatory.
has a 16-second cooldown. Like, a human being typed that number in. In what reality is that okay? So, like, some of the cooldowns in this game are fucking astronomical. I mean,
Yeah.
this is very true. Like, this actually will make a difference in in like your weapon choice to some
Oh,
extent
that's huge. Oh,
for
oh
some
my
classes.
God! I'm so happy about the crossbow change. I mean, ideally, it shouldn't have vulnerability as a implicit at all. It should just be close damage. Like that's what I don't understand. It's the choice seems so obvious here. Crossbows for rogue should be close damage as it's implicit, and bows should be long damage. Like that's what it should be. Also, they should make it more clear what long distance is and what short distance is. Like that's another thing. PoE does this too, like nearby. Like literally let us hold Alt or like even if I have to hold like Alt D, F5, F7, let me give me some indication of what we're dealing with here. When I have to like stand next to a stuck monster and try to figure it out, like so miserable, dude. Literally just think about how your players feel and make your player feel good. If your player feels good while they're playing your game and they have things to do and a constant like nice linear scale of upgrades,
What the fuck did I just read? What?
I can fix this.
Maybe 1 out of every 1,000 kills of this boss did a defensive aspect matter in the slightest. 99% of kills are blatant bug abuse, first of all, mostly with bugs that haven't even gotten
True.
fucking fixed in these patch notes. And they're all playing builds that are pure paper that get one shot by everything. Defense doesn't matter. Offense, things being buffed doesn't. They were glass cannon. Who typed this? Like the person that typed this has not watched anything happening in D4 in the last month. Holy fuck. Oh jeez, that's bad. I was saying like last week, like the most important thing about this season was not the season content itself. It was the changes to the base game that came with the season. And this shit is questionable. Like some of it I get. Like a huge problem with the Pinnacle boss fight is that you can just bug the second phase
Yep.
and make it not spawn blood puddles because the boss is attackable before she spawns the core mechanic of phase 2. You can choose to either exploit it by staggering her before she spawns them or doing too much damage. In both cases, cause the boss to not do its primary mechanic. But there's still time for them to fix those bugs. Nerfing CDR is atrocious though. Never do this. You have to like. I feel like it's pretty obvious that like CDR is a stat. It's either in the game and it's mandatory, or it's not in the game at all. There's not really like an in between. Like it's just
True.
unless you're somehow playing a build that doesn't use cooldowns, which is like pretty hard to do.
Well, I feel like you can incentivize doing slow attacks, right? Like the longer the distance since the last time you used it. Like say for example like earthquake or something like if it's 15 seconds since you last attacked, you get a 300% more damage boost. Things like that. Like that's a way to incentivize not going for cooldown reduction, but we don't really have a lot of that either.
Like unless you're playing a build that doesn't use cooldowns, like it's mandatory. Simply, it's always going to be, and and I don't think it's a bad thing. The improvements to your character when you get good CDR gear
Yeah, what
is one of the only actual gameplay improvements your character will experience when gearing from level 50 until level 100. The vast majority of your gearing improvements, I'm doing air quotes right now, is simply you got an item that has more crit damage on it. The monsters have more HP now because you're a higher level and you're doing higher level content, and nothing actually changed. But like CDR and resource gen is like one of the few actual modifiers that change the way your character feels in a positive way, and it got nerfed.
True.
Time to log in. Let's play some Diablo 4. Oh, I mean Path of Exile, obviously. Whoops.
uh, they're making it kind of hard not to shit on them, which I think is really frustrating for a lot of Diablo players, because obviously, like, a lot of people want to really love this game, right? And that's sad. So I don't like that part, and there's not really much you can do about that because they really dropped the ball on this, which I was told that they did admit to in the fireside chat. We're gonna watch the fireside chat now. The patch notes, like, I mean, there were like some good things. Like, it definitely gonna be. Well, this also includes some of the changes that were already in with Nightmare Dungeons and stuff, but obviously it's gonna be a lot faster to level now than it was at the start of the league, like at the start of season 0. So that's nice. But yeah, I don't know. I was expecting a lot more content, especially since they said 2 seasons. They did specify that that was now going to be season 2 onwards. So season 2 better be large, or like, I don't man, like they literally they really got to knock it out of the park for the second one. I really thought they would knock it out of the park for this season 1, because they have so much to prove, right? So many people are kind of disillusioned Blizzard fans because honestly, I think so many people who are playing D4, Blizzard used to be their favorite company in the world. And a lot of people, like, through things like Overwatch and Warcraft 3 Refunded and stuff like that, a lot of people have become like more and more disillusioned over the years, and they really want them to do well. They want Blizzard to go back to the glory days, and I know a lot of people are happy with Dragonflight or whatever. Um, so I don't know. It's like it's a lot of people are a little frustrated, so that's not good. But I really do hope they can like knock it out of the park for season 2. I was very disappointed by season 1 as well. But I think I'll end the video there. I just don't have that much positive to say, and I don't want to sit here and whine, especially because I haven't seen the fireside chat, which I've heard they did admit a lot of fault and stuff, so that's good. And we'll just move on. And yeah. So thanks for watching the video. Sub if you like it. I do have YouTube membership now, so those that watch my like PoE guides and stuff, that's another way to support if you like it. Either way, thanks for watching. Try to die less than I do.